Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's live Q&A. So a big thank you to everyone that's joining in live. Hopefully you can hear me. So this is a weekly Q&A that we do, and all of the questions have been submitted in advance by our YouTube channel members and Patreon members. We also have a live chat going on right now for YouTube channel members. You can become a member to join in with the conversation. You can also use the super chat function as well. And all of this all helps towards funding what's on Disney Plus, keeping all the lights on, etc. And there's also just a great way of being able to have a community, to be able to talk to you guys and answer your questions. So if you've got any live questions, feel free to put them in. So what we'll do is we're going to jump straight into some of the questions that we have got in advance. So let's jump into them. So up first, let's do the one that is the title one, which everyone is probably more interested in. Is Frank asks, could Disney Plus ever do an ads plan similar to Hulu? Now, I actually think this is not a bad idea because a lot of the other streaming services are doing this. We've seen it with HBO Max are introducing it. Paramount Plus is doing it. Now, I personally like watching television without adverts. I'd much rather pay a little bit more to get no adverts. I do think it's a lot simpler with Disney Plus, just not having ads. And I think it's a stronger service not having ads in place. So definitely think that is a win. But if you're in the live chat, let me know if you'd like to see a cheaper version of Disney Plus with ads or without. But also, I think when you bring in all of the content from like Hulu, I think if they were to ever introduce an ads version, it would have to be after they would have merged Hulu in together, because I don't think they could get away with it quite now. Because I don't think there's strong enough content. I also don't think kids would sit through it. Hulu's making a lot of money with the adverts. That's the key thing, really. It's good for Disney to make money from adverts, but for us, I'd rather not have them. I could see them doing it. It wouldn't surprise me if they did it, but I would wait. I think they would have to have the Hulu side introduced into a system in order for to do it. I don't think they could just do it at the minute. And I think the price point is too low. The thing is, obviously, with the ad version, is if you were to say I've only got a certain amount of money, and you only have ad versions for Hulu, HBO, and all the rest of it, you can save some money if you take them all out like that. But personally, I would much rather see all of Disney Plus without adverts. Now, Kayla did, to answer the question as the video title, I'd say an ad-supported tier could happen, especially if Disney Plus and Hulu combine into one app, since Hulu has both an ad-supported and an ad-free tier. I think that you're spot on. That's exactly what I would say as well. In order to add value and to offer it, they'd have to bring it in with Hulu, and that would make the most sense if they would do it. And I think they could probably get away with it at that point, if they merged them all together, because you'd be used to. I think just introducing them. I know, for example, here now TV have added in things like this, and it just doesn't kind of work very well. So I definitely feel like it is something to look at. But as Steven says, Disney Plus is cheap. Streaming services not needed. No adverts. As for Netflix, cheap through Sky. Yeah, I have Netflix as well through my Sky. So I have the basic package. I didn't like paying for the HD version, so I got the cheapest one. But I'd prefer it, no ads. Definitely don't want ads. Okay, so we got a question that's come in from Matt. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that one. So when will the Sony movies be added to Disney Plus in the United States? Now, actually, there was another question as well. I think it was from Connor that was asking a very similar question. So obviously, back earlier this year, they announced that Disney Plus, Hulu, Freeform, and all the rest of it would get access to some of Sony's content, and including Spider-Man, Jumanji, and all the rest of it. Now, they said it could have started back as early as June, and as of yet, we have not seen anything. We've not seen any major things with it, and my gut is that if they're going to do this one here, there's a prime opportunity coming up in about 3 months' time, when Spider-Man No Way Home comes out. If you were to want to drop some Sony those Spider-Man movies, even if it was just those 5 Spider-Man movies alone, that is when you do it. That is when you could drop them onto Disney Plus and make a massive, massive impact. So that is my pure guess. Again, they've not announced anything that's going to come in on this one. Obviously, Disney Plus does have the pay 2 rights in the United States, starting from all of their movies starting in 2022. But it'll be a few years before they come onto Disney Plus because they've got to go through Netflix and so on. So I definitely feel like, I think that would be a great announcement maybe for Disney Plus Day coming up in November. A few movies here and there. They could maybe slide a few of the Halloween ones, like the Hotel Transylvania movies, onto Disney Plus for Halloween. That would also be a good one. It's a bit more difficult, obviously, internationally because they don't have the rights. Hopefully, at least with the Spider-Man ones, they can work something out so they can get it on for everyone. But I think that if that was my pure guess, it would be for Spider-Man. That would make the most sense to start seeing some of those Sony ones. But again, thank you very much for your question, Matt. Really appreciate it. And thank you very much for your super chat. I've also got another super chat here from Jim. He asks, will Disney buy Indiana Jones 1 to 4 from Paramount? Again, thank you very much for your support. It is very much appreciated. So Disney don't have the distribution rights to the first 4 movies for most countries. Now, they could do a deal to purchase them, and I hope they would do. It would make a lot of sense next year when they've got the new Indiana Jones movie coming out. Now, interesting enough, when Star Plus launched down in Latin America last month, they did actually have the Indiana Jones movie. So they are willing to do stuff. And if I was Paramount, you might want to do, I could easily see Paramount going, yeah, do you want to have them non-exclusive so we can have them as well and you pay us? Because that could be a way of getting around it. Literally, as Caleb has just put in there, I could see Disney and Paramount sharing their classic Indiana movies, similar to how they share the first Avengers movie. That is what I think would be a lot of good way, because from Paramount's point of view, they could get some extra revenue from those movies, and if they don't lose them as well, then that's win-win-win for everybody. But if they were to do this, I would say it would make most sense around the time of when the next Indiana Jones movie comes out, which I think is next summer. So again, thank you very much for that one. So let's jump into some other pre-done questions. So Robert asked me, what Disney movie would you most like to see uploaded? Sorry, Disney-owned movie would you like to see uploaded onto Disney Plus? So I'm going to put this one again over to you, live chat. Let me know. For me, I think the main one that jumped out to me was Enchanted. Enchanted seems to be the one that, why is that one missing? Why is it not there? It's not available anywhere. With Enchanted 2 coming out next year, get that one on there. There's a lot of Star, because of the addition of Star, it's kind of blurred the lines a little bit for me, because there's a lot of movies that Disney own that are already available on Disney Plus in other countries. Like here in the UK, we've got things like Deadpool. I'd like to get Logan onto UK. It's available in some countries. Titanic, things like this. There's a load of movies that are kind of on there that, because of Star, they've kind of already kind of started sliding on. But Enchanted is definitely the one I instantly go to. It's because things like Con Air and the Rock would be ones, but they're already on there because of Star. But they would be the main ones. But I'd love to know what you think. So Stephen said Sky TV has got a big event coming soon on the 7th of October. So do you think new dish box or do some new channels or something? I think the thing is with that one there is I would imagine we might see some kind of maybe mention of Peacock, of what's happening with them introducing Peacock onto Now TV and Sky TV. That would be my gut. Maybe some new originals from Universal. So that would be my guess of just purely for that one. Joe asked, do you think we could still get American Horror Story seasons 1 to 9? I've been asking Disney Plus and they haven't announced anything yet. I think once it leaves Netflix, that's going to be the key thing. It's when they've left Netflix. I'm really intrigued to watch American Horror Story. My wife loves it. And I've watched 3 episodes of American Horror Stories and I've been really enjoying them. And people keep telling me of how bad they are compared to AHS. I'm thinking, well, if this is bad, how good is American Horror Story? So I'm hoping it will come on soon, because I think that'll be a good chance for me to start getting in. I need a new binge show. And since I finished off The Walking Dead, I do need a new binge show. So I'm thinking American Horror Story could be it when that one drops. But hopefully October. I mean, I'm hoping we're going to get the list this week. So that might be thing. There's another question coming up about that a little bit later on. John has asked, is there a date for Malcolm in the Middle coming to Disney Plus Star UK? No, they've not announced anything yet on that one. That was Malcolm in the Middle has been such a weird one. It was one of the first few originals or Fox shows that they actually announced, and it still hasn't arrived. And that's nearly 2 years later. It's taken a long time. John also asked, is there a release date for the Orville season 3? And will it be on the Disney Plus Star UK? Yes, it will be on Disney Plus Star because it's going to be a Hulu original in the United States. Orville seasons 1 and 2 just got dropped. When it does eventually drop, I imagine it will be exactly the same as like a Hulu Star original on that one. Okay, let's jump into the questions here we've got. Okay. So, Frank asks, has Disney made The Simpsons more family-friendly because the short films don't feature any inappropriate stuff and the shorts are rated 6+? I would view that the shorts are you should need to look at them a little bit different. They are just shorts. They're meant to be for families. I always find this thing with The Simpsons, and I've said it so many times, I really find it funny how people have this view of Simpsons being edgy. Simpsons, when I was, Simpsons, we're at season 33 or 32 this year. I was 8 when the first season came out, and I was going to primary school with Simpsons toys and Simpsons t-shirts with Bart Simpson, and Bart Simpson's single was number 1, and it was always a kid show. And it's always aired in the UK at 6 o'clock in the afternoon and after school and on Saturday morning TVs. So I always find it strange how people think of Simpsons as so much as being a bit edgy and a bit more. It's like, for me, it's a prime it's a kid show. It's always, and my dad would never watch it because he thought it was a kid show. So I know it's got some stuff in there, and I think if I was to say South Park, that's where I think of but not Simpsons. Simpsons to me is just a family-friendly TV show. So but I think the shorts are aimed a little bit younger for that reason. Let's see what else we've got here. So Frank has said, how come Ruby season 8 is on Disney Plus in Latin America but not on Star Plus when they have seasons 1 to 7? It does seem a little bit funny of what's going on right now with Star Plus and Disney Plus of what they're sharing. There was another question here as well. I think the reason Zach and Luther is on Disney Plus in Mexico is because in Mexico we're not familiar with any of the actors, and they're not known in Mexico, which is why Disney added it. And because one of them has recently been in sort of involving with crime, and they've not wanted to add it. I do think there is an impact of some of this thing. I think public awareness in some countries is a little bit different to other countries of how they deal with it. I don't think it's necessary. In America, they seem to just take it out and get rid of it. But yeah, so they definitely, to me, it could very easily be that, maybe in Mexico, they don't feel like it's such a big issue. And, that's always a key thing. Right, now let's jump here. So Caleb says, The Simpsons was rated PG TV 13 for a reason. Exactly, completely agree with Caleb on that one. It is very strange to me that they do it like that. It's very odd, I think, that we have it like that. I don't know why. It just seems very strange how it does it. Looking here, so Caleb also asked, I noticed that FX and Freeform have been heavily promoting the Sony legacy content for Halloween or not. Do you see them bringing in some to Disney Plus as they did sign that agreement? So as that kind of alludes in with the first question that we had back from Matt earlier in the show, I wouldn't be at all surprised if we got the Hotel Transylvania movies. That would be a nice little kick in, but my guess would be Spider-Man is the one that they might want to do it. Another question here from Connor. What do you think is behind the delay of October's Disney Plus release schedules? I think it's because the Disney's short of theatrical windows. They're trying to get as much money in cinemas as possible, minimum 2 to 3 weekends, before telling the public it's coming to Disney Plus. All right, so in case you're unaware, this is what usually tends to happen is on the 15th of the month, Disney would usually send out what's coming to Disney Plus in the United States. There has always been a bit of a variance. Anything between the 15th and the 20th over the last 18 months, that's been how it can work. It's been as late as the 2021, but usually that happens to be that it's usually a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday drop. So this week was prime example. Wednesday was it. So every night this week, I've just been constantly checking my emails, seeing and checking the website, making sure hasn't dropped in. And on Friday it wasn't coming in, and at that point there was they are not dropping it this weekend. Now my gut reaction, and Connor is saying the same thing there, was They did not want this weekend to be full of articles all over the internet, all saying Shang-Chi is coming to Disney Plus at the end of October. And I think that because Shang-Chi is, again, the number one movie this weekend, bringing in a lot of money, they wouldn't have wanted that information out there. And so that's my gut of why they've not said it, because they want to make sure that for us, we're all aware that these movies are probably going to be coming to Disney Plus after 45 days. We're, if you're watching here, you're probably pretty much aware of what's going on. You follow us, you follow other things. There's a lot of people that aren't. So when they see something pop up on their feed, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. That's the key thing. They don't want those dates out. There's a reason why you don't tend to see like Blu-ray and digital release dates announced until a few weeks after the release, because they don't want people thinking about it. They want you to go to the cinema. And I don't think it's a bad thing for Disney to actually do it a little bit closer to October. Not every streaming service does it 2 weeks before. And if they sometimes make mistakes, and sometimes, I'd much rather that information come out and it be correct. And if it's going to start dropping a little bit later, that's fine. It's not a problem. Just because this is how they've always done it doesn't mean that's the way they're always going to do it. But I completely agree with Connor. That was my gut for that one there. Let's have a look here, see what other questions we've got here. So Joe said, American Horror Story Season 9 premiered on Fox 2 years ago. And it's the only season not available to stream anywhere in the UK. You can only buy it on digital. Yeah, I think that's again down to whatever's going on with Netflix with that one there. So John asks, in the US, the Agent Carter show was released. Do you think it will come to the UK as well with the rest of the Marvel one-shots? This was a really weird one. It just randomly popped up on Disney Plus. It was already there. This was the thing. It was already on Disney Plus. It was just hidden in the extras section of Iron Man 3. They just moved it out. Hopefully, someone will just cotton on to the idea that it's not been. There's probably a little tick box that's available in the UK, and that's probably hopefully that someone will kick it in. Dana said, I don't remember if I've asked more. Do you see Disney changing the look to be more like Disney Plus Star? I think we're probably going to end up with a upgrade to Disney Plus to look more like Star Plus. I think there's been testing a few bits and pieces down there. So I think we'll see more of that one. So Baba said, do you think Disney will have spots for Disney Plus? What do you mean spots? Do you mean adverts? I don't quite know what you think. You also asked, do you think that Disney will have acquired content for streaming? They're constantly looking to be... I'm just looking here. You had another question. Do you think Star will have sports? I think they could do. I think, but it makes more sense if they can do something with ESPN Plus or do something like that, or sell it off to somebody else. Personally, I watch wrestling. I occasionally check out the odd little bit of NFL, but I'm not a sport. I'd rather sports stay far, far, far away. Lady Jennifer Snowson, I believe Penny Johnson Gerald said season 3 would come out in February. I think I've read before that it's they finished filming, so February might be about right time. So that obviously could kick in. John then said, when is X-Men First Class? It's still on Now TV. Until it leaves Now TV, that's going to be and then it's usually about a month later. That's the key thing. X-Men First Class. Let's have a look. First Class. Let's have a quick look, see what we've got here. The rough guess. So it's currently unavailable on Sky Cinema, according to this. So things tend to jump straight onto Disney after they've been on Now TV. Okay. Don't remember if... Okay, I think we've done that question already. Kaylee said, speaking of Hotstar, I saw another advert for... Shanraka Khan, is that correct? Coming to Disney Plus Hotstar. I can see Red Chili's entertainment for non-exclusive rights to legacy content and co-production of originals. Yeah, I think this is going to be something interesting. Me and James were actually having a bit of a discussion about this yesterday after we finished the podcast, because I was asking him like how easy to see the Hotstar content is on Hulu, and he said it's not like generally being pushed in their face. I think this is interesting to see what's going to happen with Hotstar. Is like, are they going to start promoting it with Hulu or on Star? How are they going to do all this? I definitely think we're going to see a lot more content coming in there, but they don't seem to be promoting it very much or doing anything. But I am looking on there to kind of keeping my eye open. And yeah, I even had a full-on conversation with my wife the other day of all about kind of trying to get my knowledge up on Bollywood. Stephen 2 said Boss Baby 2 could come to Peacock's and Cinema, so Cinema UK Peacock UK. Not sure. I think Boss Baby 2 was coming to Peacock and Cinema, so Cinema yeah. So I think it might probably be on Sky Cinema because they've actually made it. Right, let's have a look here, see what else we've got. So some of the previous questions that we have. So Aero G said, less of a question, but more to hear your thoughts. With Disney spending so much money, focus, etc., promoting The Walking Dead internationally, and with rumors that the ACM network's leadership, so I'm thinking that's AMC rather than ACM, could be up for sale. I'm wondering if Disney could acquire them. Their own range of streamers like AMC Plus, Acorn TV, and Shudder, as well as IFC Films, and their valuation isn't that high. Think of it as a clever way to strengthen their general entertainment offering across genres, but also they could merge into streamers, but mainly British content existing. I know they've got a big share in like BritBox, but also what is it? They've also got a big BBC own a big chunk of AMC networks. Though they are small enough, I don't think they would have a problem acquiring that network. The question is whether or not they want to. If they're up for sale, someone will pick them up. That's the key thing as well. Someone's definitely going to be, if something goes up for sale like this, someone to buy them up, buy that content, get it out there, merge in some of those streamers. Definitely. I think Walking Dead. I think that's just, to me, it kind of feels like that's one of the main ones coming out there. So Baba said, sorry, it was sports, not sport. It's fine. It's sometimes it's just of how it looks on there. Oh yeah, spot, yeah. So it's perfectly fine. I completely understand. It's not a problem at all. Completely get you. But I don't think they're going to get sports on Disney Plus yet. Okay, now let's have a look here now. So Gavin says, your thoughts on why some shows get dropped almost instantly after airing, like The Walking Dead, and others like Big Sky have to wait weeks before they're dropped. Why do you think that is? Can't think of any reason for the delay being inconsistent. Right, so I think you've got to look back. When in America, shows would tend to have what they call mid-season breaks. And sometimes they have multiple ones. So they would stop, like they would air so many episodes and then they would stop for a few weeks and then they'd restart. Well, here in the UK, we never really had that. So what they would tend to do is they would tend to hold on to till they started and then put them on there and then they would be continuous. So we wouldn't have a break. It was especially for like long seasons, like 22 seasons and stuff like that. I remember like with Smallville, we used to get it like sometimes up to 9 months later because they were stretching it, sort of stretching it all along. And I think that's definitely a way of kind of moving along. So I definitely feel like that was something to kind of, I just think that's definitely a thing with that one. Why aren't they doing it? I don't know. I wish they would sort it out. I don't know what's going on with some of the release schedules. They seem to be all over the place. Networks kind of still trying to hold on to stuff. Why they aren't looking at international distribution for some of these shows. The internet is making it all much faster. It's very tricky as well to say, well, we can't do it, or we're not doing it. Well, you're doing it with your Disney Plus originals. Maybe they need to, hand these off to the other the international division. So like, okay, these go out on this date. I understand it, like with spoilers and stuff, but you do kind of feel like at least get them up on the same week. If it airs on a Tuesday, get it up on the Wednesday or the Friday or whatever it is. I understand that part of it, but not weeks or months later. And I mean, this whole thing with Only Murders in the Building with like us getting it a week later in Europe. No idea what's going on. And it really is annoying. It is so annoying. We should be getting it the next, we should have these things the next day. It's like, there's no excuse for it. I think it's just really, 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 really annoying. So Ricardo said, hello there from Virginia. Hello. Stephen said, where Universal films have 45 days after cinema, where will we be in the UK? I think Universal doing something a little bit different. They've got like a 17-day and a bit of a longer one. They've got some different deals going on. And also, they're just trying to get as much stuff on Sky Cinema. So James, who you might know as our podcast, he appears. He said, thank you for tormenting yourself with Ergon. In case you didn't check it out, Me and Jeremy put up an episode earlier today where we reviewed Ergon. If you are a patron or a YouTube channel member, you get to see these a little bit earlier in advance. Just a heads up, tomorrow you're going to be getting Star Wars The Phantom Menace, and then that'll be available for everybody else next Sunday. So we will, and then in October we're going to be doing lots of Halloween themed stuff. So I'm going to be starting to watch some movies this week to get ready for a review. Joe said, could we see Free Guy coming to Disney Plus in the UK in October? I would hope so. I mean, it's coming to Australia and New Zealand at the end of the month. It's really going to depend on if Sky have what their deal is with regards to sort of 20th Century Studio movies, whether or not they have to get released at the same time for them, or if there's something else going on with that one. But I'm hoping so. Again, it feels a little bit like Disney are trying to keep some of this stuff with cinema releases quiet, like they don't want people to know yet. I don't know quite what's going on. It's very much kind of all over the place with this one. Kayla said, speaking of Sony content, I saw an article where Netflix and Hulu will have shared rights to grown-ups. I'm guessing legacy Sony content will be shared between Netflix and Disney. Yeah, I definitely think while Disney's got access to certain stuff, I wouldn't be at all surprised if the legacy content is shared. And I think that's not a bad idea. I don't have a problem with people with like sharing content, especially if Disney have paid to have shared access and they know about it. Same thing if I wouldn't, if Disney started like subleasing out some of their movies to other like Netflix, but it's non-exclusive. That I don't think that's a problem with that one. Ricardo said, in another timeline where Disney actually brought Time Order, would you still be closing down the Warner Channel? I think they would do. I think right now, we're right in a situation where, I think Disney are in an advantage because they're not in telecommunications. They've only got the networks. So I think that definitely comes in. James said, if you could have a team-up movie show with Shang-Chi, what would you want the other character to be? Or Shang-Chi and... I'm just trying to think, who would you want? I think Shang-Chi and Iron Fist, bring him in. Or Daredevil. I think, that would be... Daredevil probably would be pretty cool. Or we go completely different with Shang-Chi and the Hulk. That could be quite fun. Steven said, what's going on MGM with Amazon? James Bond bound to go there first. I don't know if he can go there. They haven't actually completed the deal yet. Amazon are trying to buy MGM, but they haven't actually done the deal yet. So that's always an issue. Let's jump back now into some of the last questions here. So we've got Connors asked, with Disney Plus Day approaching quick, do you think there could be some surprise drops for Disney Plus around the world? Maybe shows and films that have been in demand since the launch, or on retro Disney or Star content. So I definitely feel we're going to be getting a bit of everything. I definitely feel we're going to be getting some new stuff. I think, maybe dropping a couple of things of their very most requested shows could be very good. Or the thing is with Disney Plus Day, which is taking place on November the 12th, just pull back expectations a little bit. I think a few little add-ons would be good. If they could get something on there like thinking like Mouse of the House, that seems to be really popular, or House of Mouse. So that could be a really popular one that be on there. But I'm going into I know Disney Plus Day, I should get excited, but my expectations are kind of running water. just remember running water. So next question here that we've got, Khalid said, speaking of Warner Media, I know the syndication rights for Family Guy with Adult Swim ended last night and is now on FXX. I'm not surprised Disney want their 20th animation tape library. It makes total sense. It makes complete and utter sense for them to do that. And Kayla, I do wonder if Disney's FFX is trying to compete with Adult Swim. I don't necessarily know if they're competing necessarily with Adult Swim, but wouldn't you, if you had your own network and you wanted to build up your animation thing, and you've got American Dad, Family Guy, you've got Futurama, you've got King of the Hill, you got all these different ones, you would just want to really use them as much as you possibly could to build it up. Makes complete and utter sense to me. It makes complete and utter sense. Okay, here we go. Thank you very much to RRK65 for your super chat. Thank you very much for your support. It really means a lot. Thank you very much for that one. What do you think about the upcoming streaming services Sky Showtime? It will be released next year in around 20 European countries. So this is kind of like the combination of Paramount Plus and Peacock internationally. Now, I actually think this was. I think this one, on one hand, bringing together Paramount Plus and Sky and Comcast actually makes a lot of sense. You know, combining their efforts, keeping the costs down, and then making a much better service is not a bad thing. That's the key thing. I think Sky Showtime will have a lot of great content. I do think it's a terrible name, and I do think that Paramount need to sort out what they're doing with Showtime. It's a kind of this thing of they're all having way too many way too many things going on, too many streaming services, too much stuff going on. I'd like to see some more consolidation. So I just feel like the Sky Showtime name, it's just, again, just more branding issues, and I don't think they're thinking enough internationally. I definitely don't think they're thinking enough internationally. But yeah, so I think it's good for people in those 20 European countries to have that content and not only be paying for one service. But I hate the name, and I don't know what they went for it. So thank you very much for your super chat. I really do appreciate that one. It really doesn't mean a lot. So Stephen said, is that a lightsaber in the corner? Yes. So this one, I've just knocked over my Lego. So yeah, so this one is one of the lightsabers. Let's turn it on. Yeah, so it is, and you can hear that there. So it's pretty cool. So Hasbro actually sent this one to me like last year to review, and it is rather cool. It is rather cool. To be honest, if it didn't make noise, I'd keep it turned on while I was doing the live stream because it's pretty cool. But it does make a lot of noise. But yes, it is a lightsaber, and it is rather cool. I love that one. Right, okay, so we have got any more live questions? See if we got anything more coming in. So James said, nice Mace Windu. Yeah, it's nice that it's a nice pair. I think it's it's the video game. It's the video game one, I think it is. The Hasbro lightsaber. I think it was I'm trying to think of who it was. It was Knights of the Old Republic. I think it's the Knights of the Old Republic one. The Old Republic. Oh. Yeah, I think it's the. I'm just trying to think which one it is. Yes, it was the Knight of the Old Republic one, which I can't wait to play when it comes on to Disney Plus. Or not to Disney Plus, sorry, on PlayStation. You know, when you get the new version on PlayStation, can't wait to do that one. I'm always wanted to play that game. Right, okay, here we go. So Ricardo said, if Viacom, CBS, and NBC Universal announced later that they would merge globally, would they then have to rename Sky Showtime once again? Yes, they would do. The thing is with NBC Universal, they've got a really weird thing, like with all their branding. They've kind of got like you say, you've got Comcast, you've got NBC, you've got Universal, you've also got you've got all these different names, and it is a very, very different that. You know, all these, and Sky's so well known, especially like in across Europe. So that I think that's definitely going to be a one to kind of look out for. Would be like that whole thing, really. Okay, so we just had another question here. I'm just going to look up this one. So, and it's actually funny because it's a show I want to watch actually. So Joe asked, could we ever see Fresh Off the Boat? Fresh Off the Boat. So let's see where that one is right now. That's the first thing first. So it's current. Where am I? Am I in the UK? In Australia, it is available. So that's the first thing. So we do know that one there. It is available in Australia. So the fact it's already on another streaming service in Disney Plus. So it's currently not showing up anywhere else. So maybe it will become at some point. It is on. As I said, it's on in Australia, so that's very likely that it could come in. So Caleb also said, somebody on Twitter pointed out that this year is 19 years of Kingdom Hearts. I paralleled the first game to Iron Man since they both edged their bets and it paid off. It's really funny with the Kingdom Hearts. I mean, I have got a few Kingdom Hearts things here, and I have got a little Heartless here, so I am a Kingdom Hearts fan. But I was a bit late to it. I think it came out the wrong timing for me when I think it was like just 20, so I wasn't really kind of getting into those games. So I got into it later on. Yeah, I don't think that really Disney make enough of it. I really want that. If they are going to do that animated series for Disney Plus, I would love that. But yeah, it is. They definitely made. It also got me into Final Fantasy, which I never expected. So Stephen said the Wounded Years. So I'm guessing the Wounded Years and Willow is coming in 2022. I think Willow will be coming in 2022. They have been filming it in Wales this year, so if they can get all the special effects in, I think it would be a good one for next winter. The Wonder Years, the new version, is coming to ABC in the US. I don't think we might be lucky to get it on Disney Plus in the UK and stuff. Maybe even as close as October or November. I wouldn't hold out. I wouldn't say it would be 2022. I definitely don't think it would be 2022. I think it'd be much quicker than that one. Right. On that note, if you've got any more live questions, we'll be heading off in a couple of minutes if we don't get any more. If not, we'll be closing in about 4 minutes anyway. This one's been great. We've had some great questions coming in. And I tried out something a little bit different in terms of doing the questions and in terms of how the software works. So that's been nice. And change it up so the actual live chat was working because we had a little bit of an issue last week. So it's always cool. Like I said, thank you very much for all of our Patreon and YouTube channel supporters for all of your help. And what that does is it gives us a nice stable income to help pay towards things like paying towards all the hosting fees for the podcast, for the website, and just kind of keeping up, paying all the little bills and stuff. And so having that constant support really helps kind of keep all of those bills completely covered. So we're not reliant on ad revenue or anything like that. So we know that we've got those covered through your support, and it really does mean a lot. That's why I do the live chat every week. I know some people say, well, why don't you open to everyone? And so this originally was supposed to be just for patrons, but we decided to let it out. I asked everyone if they would be happy if we went in, put out to everyone, but I wanted to keep the members so we have a little bit of a community. Like I say, it's great, all the guys and we're all here in the live chat, every week you guys come in and it's great and it feels nice, and being able to speak to you all guys because I see you all the time and you can ask questions and stuff. So that's what I do love to do. So Joe said, could we see some more Alien movies coming to Disney Plus for October for Halloween? I hope so. I mean, if they've left Sky Cinema and stuff by now, we're more likely to get it. It would make sense to use up the bits and pieces for all those movies and stuff for Halloween. I mean, it just makes sense to drop them at them. So Steven said, is the Discovery Channel going to close now? They've got Discovery Plus. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they maybe started trimming down some of their channels. You've got to think, though, National Geographic and Discovery, their audience are much older, and so therefore they maybe less likely to use streaming services. And so that is a little bit of an issue that they've got to look. And if Sky are paying them for it, and it's all going to depend on what happens with the merger and stuff. Yeah. And same here, because the reality channel, I just generally feel like with the channels aimed at older audiences are probably still tuning in much higher numbers than say for like the kids shows. Ricardo said, do you think the movie Miss Henderson Presents could become the Disney Plus in some countries? It is distributed by Disney Plus globally. If Disney Plus have the distribution rights, then I could definitely see it coming. Depends if they've got digital versions and they've got to do subtitles and all the rest of it. There's always, and also if they've got the rights to do it, because they might own the movie for distribution, but they've still got to go get maybe streaming rights and pay for that. It's whether or not they get it. I think Disney replace ABC News for natural Geodes. I don't think they will do that with ABC because ABC News is very well known in the US, and I don't think National Geographic is necessarily a brand that you want to be connecting with news like in that same way. I definitely, I don't think they'd go over that one. So Steven said, how has the new studio gone? It's going pretty well. At the minute, I've had a carpenter in all week doing some work. It's not that he's not working on the new studio. It just means that when he's finished getting all this new room area, I can then move into the room behind this one, which is probably about a third bigger. So the idea really is going to give me a little bit more space. So he's supposed to be finishing this week. So I'm hoping by next weekend I'll be in the bigger room. I've been to IKEA this morning and brought some more bits and pieces for the new office and measuring up and stuff. So I have been doing bits and pieces. So I'm hoping, but it's going to take a little bit of time because I'm basically going to move everything out of here to get this out because it only goes out one way. So I got to get all of this stuff out, move it all in, and get in. But I'm hoping by next week we'll be into the new studio. Right. On that note, guys, thank you very much for all of your live comments. Thank you very much to everybody that contributed on the super chats. Your support really makes a big difference. A big hello and thank you to Matt, Jim, and also RRK65. Again, thank you very much to all of our Patreon and YouTube channel supporters. And on that note, guys, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Laters.